Zarya's been nerfed, she's been buffed, she's been nerfed, has she been buffed? Maybe it was a buff, nerf, and nerf, buff. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Stylosa and this is Unit Lost. And let's finally put this to bed. Zarya has been nerfed, but she's been buffed as well. And she's been buffed pretty much past her estate before she was nerfed, which makes no sense, but allow me to explain. So, what we've got is a situation where they reduced the amount of charge Zarya gets from her barriers. So particle barrier, which is a personal barrier, and projected barrier, which you can put onto an ally. The amount of power she gets from these barriers has been reduced by 20%. Now, when I was playing on the PTR, before the patch went live, I really didn't like Zarya. Like, I thought she was quite bad because she felt really slow. Now, because I was playing her on live at the same time, so I was getting like 20% more charge. So it felt better. It was like, wow, I'm always achieving like high charge rates, and that's awesome. On the PTR, it felt completely alien to me. It felt really slow. So I only really played it for like maybe 2 or 3 games. And I thought, you know, I'm not going to touch her again. But there was one thing I completely failed to realise. And that was they fixed, and that's right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm using the word fix. They fixed her particle beam damage. So when she fires with her primary attack, it does damage the moment it hits the target. And it constantly does damage. Now you're probably thinking, Sty, it did that anyway. It didn't. It really, really didn't. Any Zarya players out there will know this. The way it used to work was very weird. I mean, it was. They obviously designed it this way, but it was weird. So what it would do, even though visually you would see a constant beam coming from the weapon, it would not do constant damage. It would do intermittent pulsing damage. So it would kind of do damage, 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 even though it looks like a beam. Now what that means is, if you've got Genji jumping all over the place, now Zarya is a fantastic counter to Genji because he can't deflect your damage. If he's jumping all up in the sky like a crazy ninja man like he should be, and you're trying to get him, well, when you're aiming at him, you're only doing damage like damage, 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 and he's jumping around. So there'll be times where you target his hitbox and you go off his hitbox, and then you come back to his hitbox, but actually that moment you come back to it is the moment where you're not going to do damage, and then he moves again, and then you do damage, but you're not actually doing any damage because you're off his hitbox. You get what I'm saying? So what this means is now, because you do constant damage with the beam, you actually do more damage. And I'm starting to believe the reason why they've reduced the amount of power from particle barriers is because they fixed the weapon. Because they know if you did get the same level of charge, being able to apply that much damage so fast and so consistently means Zarya would be, well, quite literally OP. So what we've got is this hero now where she's very weird. Like, don't think she's been nerfed. If you read the patch notes straight up, if you walk in and you read the patch notes, it just simply says power gain from barriers reduced by 20%. That's what it says. So, okay, she doesn't get as much power, she does less damage. Any rational person would think that. I thought that because I didn't realise they'd fixed the goddamn weapon. Now, which you could call a buff, but it's not really because they've just fixed it. So I've been playing her competitively, and she feels really great. Like, really, really great. Okay, it's not as amazing as it was before with the high charge numbers. Like, if a fire strike was coming in, you'd sort of barrier yourself and then protect the Reinhardt in front of you or something, so you take like the double hit from the fire strike, so you've got a shitload of charge. Those days are gone. You don't get as much charge, but you still get enough charge to put out a ton of damage. And I've been gold damage and golden limbs in most of the games that I've played, which is really good considering the people that I've been playing with that are really good DPS players. That is insane. Like, Zarya, she's going nowhere. She kind of suffers from the Lucio disease, let's say, where she'll never go out of the meta. And the developers' comments on the barrier change, well, they say this, and they make sense and they don't. So, considering her potential damage output, Zarya was starting to feel like a mandatory pick in most situations. Rather than reduce her damage output, this change makes achieving her maximum power and damage output slightly more difficult. So, while that makes sense, right, it is more difficult to achieve your maximum damage output, but you just do more damage with less charge now because you're more reliable. So, when Genji does come jumping in, well, you can wreck Genji. Like, it's almost funny. You can just be like, delete, 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 bye, and Genji's gone. It's awesome. So where does she fit in the game? Well, and what is this thing with her suffering from the same affliction that Lucio has? Well, Zarya and Lucio are awesome because of 2 things. Lucio has speed boost. He is the only character in the game which can make your team move faster. That is the best initiation and the best disengage tool in the game. This means Lucio, well, he's going nowhere. And also Lucio's ultimate is pretty damn good. Zarya, Well, she is a fantastic support tank. She's got high damage. She can deal with a lot of enemy heroes. You're going to see D.Va in the meta a lot now. Well, hey, Zarya deals with D.Va because that's what she's designed to do. She deals with Genji. She deals with anybody. If anyone gets near to Zarya and she's charged, she's going to wreck them. She also has her barriers, which are the only ranged instant cast support ability in the game, basically. So what that means is, if somebody is in the shit, you can be like, no, it's okay, and you can drop a barrier on them and save them. It happens all the time. But the biggest thing with Zarya, the absolute biggest thing, is the Graviton Surge. This thing is friggin' amazing. It is the best ultimate. I'm just going to say it is the best ultimate. It sets up team wipes all of the time. If you Graviton the enemy team, it's got such a wide radius, it sucks a load of people in. Tracer comes in with a pulse bomb, you've got yourself a black hole, big bang combo. That is beautiful. You can combo with Pharah, you can combo with Hanzo, you can combo with Genji, you can combo with basically anybody who has a high damage dealing ultimate. Combo with a Bastion in tank mode. It is just absolutely phenomenal, and that's why she's never going to go anywhere. But what I want to say in this video is just, guys, if you play Zarya, well, don't give her up. Don't read the patch notes and think, oh no, she's been nerfed, because she actually hasn't. She's more powerful than she was before. She doesn't do, on paper, as much damage because she can't get charged as easy, but she does more consistent damage, because whenever you latch that particle beam onto an enemy player, it will do damage to them consistently. It will do damage to them instantly. There's none of this pulsing crap going on anymore. It just rips them down, and she is in a frigging awesome position right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Stylosa, and if you watch my recent video, you know the tank meta in Overwatch is starting to change, and you also know that I mainly play tank characters. So to me, this is crazy interesting to see everything that's happening. Seeing D.Va come back, seeing Winston get played more, seeing Reinhardt sort of fall away a little bit more, but he's still obviously really strong. It's such an awesome time for Overwatch. It's so fun. It feels like a completely new game. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Stylosa. This is Unit Lost. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. If you play Zarya, let me know how this feels for you. Like, what is going on? Do you agree with what I said? Do you disagree? Let's find out. You can follow me on Twitter as well, guys, which is @UnitLostGaming, and do follow me on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/UnitLost. And I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Toodaloo.